How you doing today? How you doing today? Welcome back to the Count on Joy podcast with your boy Will, and I'm back with another episode today. And actually, uh, this episode I guess is a little bit different because I guess of why I'm doing this specific episode. Uh, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it takes. I don't even know what I'm gonna talk about on the next episode or what I'm going to discuss, and something will happen or a situation, I'll have a conversation or I'll see something and God will spark something in me. I'll be like, okay, I want to talk about that. But actually, so if y'all don't follow my Instagram page, you guys should. It's called Count Our Joy Podcast. Uh, I posted on my story the other day, a couple days ago, whenever, and I just asked you guys to slide up and let me know what topics you guys want me to talk about. And yeah, I want you guys to slide up and uh let me know what topics you guys want me to talk about. And one of my, I guess, followers, you could say, slid up and they said they would like for me to talk about um returning from a sports injury. They specifically said severe injury because of what they're going through. But uh I think I'm just gonna talk about injuries in general, but this will apply also to a severe injury. And I'll go into more specifics to cater to the severe injuries because there is a difference between an injury that you're out for. It could be a few months, but a severe injury, most of the time you're out for at least 9 to 12 months, sometimes even longer than that. And then you're kind of handicapped to a certain extent. So, yeah, I want to talk about that process and how to, I guess, work through that and I mean deal with it day by day. But doing it in a Christ-like way, doing it with God, because you can't do it by yourself. Uh, Again, I've told you guys before, I'm currently going through an injury. I'm not even cleared yet. We just started official practice the other day, and I couldn't even practice with full contact. So I'm still going through my injury. Again, I tore my labrum. I tore it like 2.5 years ago. I was playing through it for like 2 years, and it got to the point where I just couldn't keep playing, so I had to get surgery on it. But yeah, I'm still in my recovery process. I'm like 4 months in at this point, 4.5 months in, I believe. But I'm still going through that, so I can give you guys a little bit of insight. But as far as ACLs and different things like that, MCLs, meniscus injuries, a lot of times it's those lower body extremities and lower body injuries that are hard to deal with the most. But yeah, all this what I'm about to talk about, it applies to all different types of injuries. But yeah, I'm gonna specify a little bit more on the extreme injuries later on. Anyway, I think that we've all been here when we're dealing with injuries, especially in sports. I think I can speak from the sports aspect of it and being an athlete because you can injure yourself in any aspect of life, work, just regular work, or whatever you do, hard labor, manual labor, rather, like whatever it is, you can hurt yourself. But I guess I'm speaking from the aspect of or the point of view of an athlete. Uh, but I think a lot of times, some of the first things that we do will be like, we'll ask God, why me? I think that's the wrong approach to go about. And I've been there where I'm like, God, why did this have to happen to me? Like, well, or why now? Or why is this happening? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Right. Um, I think that's dangerous to do. I mean, we live in a world of ailments, illnesses, injuries, death. It's just the world we live in. God is not the author of any of those things. He doesn't bring any of those things upon us. He didn't make you get hurt. He didn't say, okay, I'm gonna make sure Billy Bob injures his leg today so I can teach him a lesson. So like, no, it doesn't work like that. As far as I don't believe it works like that. Other people might think, but that's not what I believe, and that's not how I was taught to, go about my life with that. God doesn't bring about, uh, pain and angst and danger. That's not what he creates. He doesn't cause bad things to happen. That's not what he's an author of. But he does say, and again, shameless plug, Count Ojo, he does say when these trials and tribulations uh come your way, he'll be there with you. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. And then he uses these moments and instances and situations to build our faith and build our trust in him. So that's ultimately what the goal should be when we go through these times, focusing on building our faith. When I kind of talked about in the last pod, when things seem uncertain, you don't really know what the future may hold, or you don't know how the recovery process is gonna go. That's where the faith and the trust and really the patience kicks in. Uh, but yeah, that's kind of what I want to start with. When we ask God, why me? Like, God is not doing this to you. Like, this is not something that God is illustrating. This is not something that he's forcing on you. Now, will he use this situation for your maturation, for your growth? 1,000%. But he's not the author of these things. We live in a corrupted world. We live in a crazy world. So these things are gonna happen. And we have to be able to navigate through these things. But we can't navigate through these things by ourselves. We have to do it with God. But just knowing first that this is nothing from God. Not these bad things don't come from him. All good and perfect things come from God, and that's the only type of stuff that's going to come from God. Uh, this is something that I kind of have it kind of makes me cringe when people say it, because I get what they're saying and I get the concept of it, of course, but I don't say it just off the fact it's kind of cringy, and then I think it's more to it. But when people say God gives the toughest battles to his toughest soldiers or greatest soldiers, whatever they say, I don't necessarily agree with that, right? I'm gonna tell you why I don't agree with it, but I don't necessarily agree with it just off the fact that, again, kind of what I already said, all good and perfect things come from God. Like, bad things, he's not uh creating these bad instances, these bad situations, and just throwing it to us. And like, okay, let's see how he does this. Like, that's not, I don't believe that's how God works. Now, bad things are gonna happen, and then he's going, because he's God, he's sovereign. He's going to make sure these situations are for, again, our growth, our maturation. How he does it like that, I don't know. That's just how he works. Um, but yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that quote that he just gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers or whatever. I think the devil is always trying to come at you when you're trying to live a life with God and for God. Um, and I mean, this is his playground. The earth is his playground. He's trying to, he roars around like a lion seeking who he may devour. I My mom has told me that verse a plethora of times, like several, two. I hear that verse all the time, all throughout my life, and it's true. It's he's looking for people that he can bring into his, I don't want to say kingdom, but bring it to his area of life. He's trying to get more people to live for him and live under his tutelage. So when bad things are happening, he's trying to use those things to tear us down. Now, on the flip side, God is trying to use those things for our growth. But I don't think God illustrates bad things on us. He doesn't. Like, he's not going to say, yeah, Billy Bob, I'm going to make sure so one of his family members dies so he can learn. Like, no, that's not how I see things. That's not how I believe God works. He just uses those things for us to grow and grow closer to him. When those things happen, he's there to guide us, as long as we let him. So that's kind of my gripe, I guess, with that quote. God gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers. However y'all say it, greatest soldiers, I don't know. But I don't necessarily agree just off the fact that God doesn't put that stuff on us. He's not making anyone die. He's not making anyone hurt. Like, that's not something he's not putting that on us. That's not what I believe. I don't believe he's just making bad things happen. It's just the world we live in. He didn't say things weren't going to happen. He just said he'll be there with us when we do go through those things. So that's something I want to touch on a little bit. Uh, but going, all right, so transitioning, I guess, more so into being injured, being hurt. It's a lot of emotions that go along with that. Uh, and then also I kind of to give a little bit more context, I have a teammate who just tore his ACL. I'm not going to disclose his name because I don't know if he wants people. I mean, it doesn't matter. I have a teammate who he's his junior year of high school, he tore his ACL, right? So that means all of his senior year, he didn't play basketball. So no, it was the beginning of his senior year. I think he tore his ACL, but basically he was out all his senior year, right? And he was taking all that time to rehab. Then he took a gap year. Then last year he came, got his strength back. He was cleared or allegedly or whatever. And then preseason last year, basically a year ago from today, he tore his ACL again. So that's 2 ACL tears in basically 2 years. Then this year we had I guess we're out of preseason at this point. Well, we're starting official practice, so maybe still consider preseason, but during it was conditioning, but we were playing pickup, I believe. He tore his ACL again. That's 3 ACL tears in the past 3 years. And yeah, my heart just goes out to him. And again, I brought that up for context because, again, I told y'all one of my followers said he tore his ACL as well, and I also have somebody close to me who I see every day. He tore his ACL, and this is not the first time. This is his third time, and you could imagine the stuff he's going through. And he's not even just going; he's going through some other stuff outside of basketball as well. And it's really a mental battle with these injuries. A lot of times it's more mental than physical. I mean, most of the time, majority of the time, it's more mental than physical. During the rehab, after the rehab, it's mental a lot of times, even though it's a physical injury. So I just wanted to give you guys that context, and if you guys can send prayers his way. But I guess I brought that up to say that this is the time when we are hurt, when we are injured. And again, I can speak from experience with this to a certain extent. Like I said, I've never had an ACL tear, thank God. And I pray I never have to deal with that. But this is the time to grow mentally, grow spiritually and mentally. Right? This is the time where when you're limited physically, you have to tap more into the spiritual and mental aspect of it, and which we should already be doing. But at this point, you have no choice. You can't. A lot of times, you're physically incapable, especially at the beginning of the rehabilitation period. You literally can't do anything. I remember, so I had ankle surgery the end of my freshman year of college, and that wasn't as bad because I had a cyst in my ankle. So the rehab process wasn't that bad, but I was just in a boot for months. And once I took that boot off, my leg was weak. My left leg is still weaker than my right leg to this day. So that's not the point. But I brought that up also because this shoulder surgery that I'm still, or this shoulder injury that I'm still going through, the first like 2.5 weeks, I literally couldn't. This might be TMI, but I didn't take a shower for 2 weeks. I was extremely musty, dirty. The shirts, I was wearing the same shirt for who knows how long. It was nasty work, literally, and figuratively and metaphorically, however you want to put it. It was disgusting work. It was bad. My mom took care of me though. My mom, my little brother, took care of me. But yeah, the beginning of this summer was crazy because I was down bad. I couldn't go to sleep. I was up till 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, struggling. Like I couldn't sleep. Uh, I'm a side sleeper. I couldn't sleep on my side. And even before I hurt my shoulder. I toss and turn in my sleep. I'll go on one side. Okay, sit there for 10 minutes. Okay, I can't go to sleep. I'm gonna go on the other side. All right, let me lay on my back for a little bit. I was forced to sleep on my back. You know how uncomfortable that is? For 2.5 weeks, I was forced to sleep on my back. And my back was hurting too. I don't know, from whatever the surgery was, it was crazy. I couldn't, it was so much stuff going on. I was ah and then they gave me some yerkies. Let me stop. They subscribed me some perks basically, but I didn't take them because I don't really believe in that stuff. I don't like taking that stuff because it's easy to get addicted to those things. Not even saying I would, but you just never know. If I don't have to take them, I'm not taking them. So I didn't even take the pain medication that they gave, that they subscribed to me or prescribed to me rather, because I don't like, that those heavy drugs. Um I'm just trying to give y'all all this context as well. So if somebody else is going through an injury, you're not alone. You can get through it. Uh, but yeah, it was tough. It was more mental. It was hurting a lot. Don't get me wrong. But I was literally up 4 or 5 in the morning, like couldn't go to sleep. I had nothing but me and my thoughts. Uh, it was tough, right? But this is the time, this time where you are forced to think and reflect and spend time in solitude. Honestly, this is the time where you grow spiritually and mentally. How do you do that? It's clear as day. I've talked about this in a lot of different ways, but everyone's path looks different. Everyone's walk looks different. But we have to dive more into His Word. One thing I told you guys that I've done and I currently do every single day, I try to. I always have my Bible app, but I try to read a day. I pick a devotional, and sometimes it changes based upon what I'm going through or how I'm feeling. I might pick one on doubt. I might pick one on patience. I might pick one on anger. I might pick one on relationships. I might pick one on forgiveness. It depends what I'm going through at that moment, and just trying to feed yourself with as much godly counsel as possible. So I think that's something when you're going through an injury, you need to focus on. Focus on building that relationship with God. Focus on reminding yourself of the promises He's given you. Because a lot of times, I told you at the beginning, we're sitting here like, God, why did this have to happen to me? Like, why is this happening to me? Especially when you work extremely hard, which my teammate who does, he works extremely hard, puts in a lot of work, and I just feel so bad for him. So please, y'all, say a prayer for him. Prayer for him. Also, say a prayer for. I keep saying follower. Cause I ain't know if you want me to disclose his name, but it's one of my friends. It's one of my close friends. I've known him since. Man, it's been a minute. It's been probably middle school, maybe before that. But yeah, grew up playing basketball with him. We used to play basketball at the YMCA all the time. But yeah, he recently just tore his ACL, and that was the follower I was referring to. But that's really my friend. So I'll say my friend and my teammate. Who my teammate, he's also my friend. So really, I have two friends who tore their ACLs recently, not far along from each other. So if you guys could both say a prayer for them, or say a prayer for them, please, and uh, you know, think about them. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, it's it's those moments where we're like, God, why? Like, why did this have to happen to me? But instead of doing that, because those thoughts are gonna, come about, inevitably, really. Uh, but we have to drown those type of thoughts and those type of emotions out with God's promises. Again, He said He'll never leave us nor forsake us. He said, "Count it all joy when we face trials and tribulations." He gives us promises and he tells us the things that he has done, the things he's currently doing, the things he will do. So we have to remember that. And the only way we'll know that is if we read it for ourselves, if we dive into his word ourselves, and we actually pour into ourselves with God's word and his promises. That's the only way we'll actually be able to soak in and apply to our lives what he's saying. If we don't read it, if we don't know it to be true, then how are we even going to be able to uh, know that he's using these instances and situations for our benefit? If we don't actually know, if we don't read his word, if we don't dive deeper into what he's saying, then how are we actually going to truly believe what was being said, or that will be okay in the end? It's a little bit harder when you don't do that. Another thing I was telling them, it's easy to, when you get hurt, I guess ostracize yourself, shun yourself from other people, go into a place of, it'll feel like loneliness. And I think solitude is okay. I think we all need solitude. I need my solitude every single day. I feel like I'm around people all day, every day. I need my time. I need at least an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I'm not talking about when I'm in the bed by myself. I'm talking about when I just need time where it's just me and me, right? Me and my thoughts. I don't want anybody else influencing what I'm thinking, influencing how I'm feeling. I just want me and my thoughts. And I think that is fine. But I don't think we should ostracize ourselves from other people. And excuse me. I don't think we should ostracize ourselves from other people and basically avoid the people in our lives just because we're hurt and because we're going through it. And we might be depressed, or we might be sad, or we might be, we just might be down. Man, I need some water. I don't think we should do that. I think that becomes, I don't know, not even dangerous. I don't know if dangerous is the right word, but it's not beneficial for our growth when we purposely avoid others and avoid their love, avoid their comfort, their care. Because there is times where we need to be by ourselves, but we don't need somebody else clouding our judgment or telling us what they think or how they feel. But it's important too, and this is the point, I said that to get to this point. Let your circle love you, right? Let the people who are close to you, let the people who care for you, let the people who really love you and pour into you, let them take care of you. One of my teammates, the teammate I'm talking about that towards ACL, he was telling me that he felt like he was being a burden on his parents because they've had to spend all this money on these surgeries. And I felt exactly where he was coming from, because I've been there where I've been hurt, and especially if your parents don't have it like that. I know my mom doesn't. So every time my mom has to pay for something that I don't feel like she really had to do, I feel bad. And that's not the mindset we should have, because I was telling him, like, bro, your parents love you, dog. Your parents will do anything for you. Your parents will sacrifice whatever they need to pour into you in your dreams. And I told him, I was like, bro, that's all you were really doing. That's all you were doing, chasing your dreams. Why would your parents be mad at you because you were chasing your dreams? I was like, bro, you went through one ACL tear. That's tough enough. You went through two. And this is your third one. You about to get through this one, just like you got through the other two. And I'm like, bro, that in itself, like, they're proud of you for, right? They already loved you, but you know how much respect they have for you. And just the fact that you're sitting there still chasing your dreams. It could have been easy just to give up, easy just to give in. But you continue to chase after, the desires of your heart. God gives us these things for a reason. We don't just have these things for no reason. If it's of God, then he'll give it to you. A dream, chasing your dream for basketball, want to play college basketball, that's all fine and dandy. And God wants that for you. And the fact that he kept pushing forward, I told him, I was like, bro, I'm proud of you. But I know for a fact your parents are proud of you. And they don't mind spending however much money they have to pour into your dreams and support you in whatever you're doing. Especially when they know you're putting in the work to get to where you're trying to get. So I think I said all that to say, let your circle love you. Let the people around you, let your family, let your friends care for you. Let them take care of you, especially during this time where you physically can't even do it by yourself. Talk to others. Go out when you can. And when I say go out, I mean just spend time with friends. If that's going to a playground, if that's going to a park, if that's going to the movies, if that's just walking around the mall, whatever that is for you, take that time to actually, spend quality time with the people that love you and care for you. I think that's a very important part of recovery. You're trying to recover physically, but you're also trying to recover mentally because your mental, your mind it feels shattered. You feel broken to a certain extent. Especially with a severe injury. So again, just let the people around you care for you, love you, and take care of you. I think that's something that we all have to do. It's something I've had to learn as well. Uh, this is something that's big and it might be hard to hear. And I had to learn this. And I guess I'm still navigating it, but I think I've gotten to the point where it's not really a problem for me anymore, but it's because I've had to go through it for so long. But we have to know that we're more than whatever sport we play, whatever occupation we do. I talked about this last pod, but specifically with the injuries, and I'll keep it sports related right now. Whatever sport we play, we're more than that. We can't wrap our whole lives into this sport. You can't let the sport you play dictate who you are as a person. It doesn't even work like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I can watch somebody play basketball, watch somebody play 5-on-5, watch somebody play 1-on-1, whatever. And I can tell what type of person they are because how they react to certain things. I kid you not. You might not understand if you don't play basketball, but I can literally watch somebody play basketball and tell how they are as a person. I can tell if they're insecure. I can tell if they have anger management problems. I think a lot of people tell if they have anger management problems. I could tell if they have too much pride. I could tell if they have a lot of patience. I could tell if they're just a joyous person. I could tell if they're too nonchalant. I could tell if they don't really care about things. I could tell if they're not determined. There's so many things you can, for me, as a basketball player, somebody that studies basketball, and I've watched tens of thousands of games, hundreds of thousands of film on every different type of player you can think of, seen thousands of games in my life. You can look at somebody and tell what type of person they are. But just because you play basketball, that doesn't mean that's all you are. It doesn't work like that. Or if it's football, baseball, soccer, ice hockey, bass fishing, whatever the sport is, that's not who you are. You can't let that dictate who you are. It's not supposed to work like that. But I think majority of us, we've especially when you're trying to get to a certain point and you put so much, I've been spamming pain recently. You putting so much pain into it, right? And really, if you're an old head, you don't get what I'm saying. I mean, I think it's self-explanatory, but basically it's another way to say blood, sweat, and tears. You're putting so much time into it, so much effort, so much, you're investing so much into it. So that's what I mean when I say pain. But you're putting so much pain in whatever sport you're playing, and you do get wrapped up around it a little bit. Like it consumes you a lot of times because it literally consumes your time. It takes up your time. If you want to be great at something, you have to put the time into it. Now there's always a good balance, but a lot of times we're not good at balancing like at our outside life. And I know I'm not sometimes. Sometimes it's good to just, all right, I was at the gym already. I don't have to go back. But sometimes when you are chasing something, it's hard to see yourself outside of that. It's hard to look out. It's hard to look at life different than that, or outside of that, or in a different lens, different paradigm, however you want to put it. But you have to know you're more than that sport. When you're hurt, you're forced to figure that out. Now, again, I say it might be hard to deal with, but when you can't play the sport that you want to, that the sport that you love, the sport that you've grown up playing your whole life, you'll figure out quickly, okay, who really am I? Because if you come to the conclusion that you're just that sport, that's all you are, a basketball player, a football player, soccer player, you're in for a rude awakening. You're gonna really have to figure out who you are. And if you don't figure it out soon, life is gonna hit you in the face, brother or sister. uh, so I think that's important too. This time is going to force you to figure out who you are as a person. What are you really passionate about? And I hear some people say, all I want to do is hoop, or all I want to do is play football. Like I hear that, right? But and this is a cliche, and I don't usually say this, but I'm gonna say it in this sense. Okay, that basketball doesn't bounce forever. You feel me? That football is not gonna always be there. You're not gonna always be able to play that sport. Your body's gonna break down. What can you hang your hat on outside of that? Right? Um, so I don't know, y'all. Well, I definitely do know. We can't being so engulfed with whatever we're doing as far as sports and whatever occupation, whatever it is, that we lose sight of what our real job and purpose is. I mean, our purpose is, glorify God, spread the gospel, all of that. But we all do have different vehicles. It could be through the sport you play. It could be through something else. But we're not just playing basketball to play basketball. God didn't put us on this earth just to play a sport and go about your day. It don't work like that. We're supposed to impact others and love, really, at the end of the day. So I wanted to stress that we have to know that we're more than the sport that we're playing. And we can't just tie ourselves down to that. Expounding upon that a little bit more, you can love the sport and be passionate about it and put a lot of, again, pain into it, but you can't make it an idol. I know for a fact, because my mom's told me this, and then I've had to reflect upon it. I remember when she first said, I'm like, Mom, watch out. I didn't say watch out to her, but in my head I did. Like, man, stop. That it became an idol. Basketball was an idol for me at one point in my life, where it's like, man, basketball is so important. Where, hey, I have to do this. I'm not worried about anything else. Everything's revolved around this. It should never be like that. Now, that doesn't mean I have to lose my work ethic. That doesn't mean I have to lose my determination. That doesn't mean I have to lose my being how diligent I am. But if that's the most important thing in your life, you're gonna find out quickly that your life is going to go downhill when the most important thing in your life is a materialistic thing. So I thank God I learned that a little bit early, I guess. I learned in probably high school, maybe beginning of college. Probably more so college, beginning of college. You're more than whatever you're doing. You have to figure out what your real purpose in life is. And again, I already told you what the baseline for everybody is. It's to love others, spread the gospel, to impact others, all of that. But we all, when we get into the nitty gritty, everyone's way of doing it is different. But we can't. And again, all this stuff I'm talking about is because I've been through it. I'm not speaking on anything I think. I've been through it. I've made basketball an idol. It didn't go very well for me. Okay. You'll quickly realize that basketball or whatever sport you play, it's only so important. It can only take you so far. Without God, there's no point in doing all this stuff. Without relationships, any type of relationship, most importantly God, but other relationships, familial relationships, romantic relationships, strictly platonic, like whatever type of relationships, like that is more important than whatever you're doing. So I just think we have to remember that, and we have to be real cognizant of if we're walking down that path. Because again, I really was, and I had to have a real talk with myself and I had to, I had to come to a real realization that, bro, you're wilding. This is not, this is not just who you are. Yeah, you're good at basketball. You love basketball. You're passionate about it, but you can't put it on a pedestal. So I had to learn that. And again, I'm talking to whoever is trying to hear this, but you have to make sure that you are finding yourself during this time. If you don't already know who you are. And a lot of us will say we might know who we are, but when our identity is wrapped around a sport, you don't really know who you are. Because that sport's not going to always be there. Now, you can use that sport or whatever to fulfill your purpose. But you are not, that sport doesn't define you. Like, even, let's say you are meant to be in basketball in any capacity. Say basketball doesn't end up working out as far as playing, but you end up a coach. You're fulfilling your purpose with coaching. Like, you're helping these kids or these teenagers, whatever, grow as men, grow as young men, grow as players. All of that. You're trying to be a wisely counsel for them. All of that stuff, it doesn't have to be just one way. Everybody can lead and impact others in all various types of ways. But again, I'm going to just stress, we can't let it become an idol because it is a sin. But it's just not going to fare well for you, honestly. Not in the long run. Not if you really want a sufficient life and a wealthy life. And any life without God, it'll never be sufficient or wealthy enough. So, lastly, and again, I ended off like this every single time because it's something extremely important to me and I take pride in it. But we have to pray during this time. We have to pray for our recovery. Actually pray over our body. Pray for the specific body part. Pray for all of your body. Pray for your mind. Pray for your body. Pray for your spirit. Pray for that. Pray that it recovers. Pray that you're healthy soon. Don't put a timetable on it. Just pray that when it's your time, Lord, for me to become 100% healthy, please bless it. Please bless for me to become healthy in that time period. Whenever it is time for me to get back, Lord, please bless me to be ready. Please bless me to stay healthy. Please bless me not to get injured again. You have to pray those things. Not saying you won't get injured again, but you still have to pray. God's going to get you through it. You just have to know. You have to truly believe it and know that he is going to get you through it. And then also, which we should know this already, but I still have to reiterate it. Don't be so concerned to get back to what you're doing, or get back to the sport, or get back to whatever you're doing, that you're cutting corners, trying to cheat yourself, or trying to, skip steps. That's only going to hurt in the long run. Take extra time to dedicate to the recovery process because you don't want to end up re-injuring the body part or hurting something else because it was compensating for something else. All that stuff is possible. So just make sure you're doing your part. So make sure you're doing your part while God is doing his, because he is going to do his part and he is doing his part. He has done his part already. So make sure that we're doing our part and we're not adding any extra stress to ourselves. But yeah, y'all, that's really what I want to talk about today. As far as, I guess recovering from an injury, dealing with injuries, and I guess the mindset we should have towards it or going through it, and how we should go about our day to day while going through that. I think it's extremely important that we try to apply all these aspects to our lives and make sure that the most important thing is that we're trying to glorify God and whatever we're doing. And we're going to fail, we're going to mess up. But make sure that's our main goal and that we're continuing to strive to do better each and every day. But yeah, everybody that's going through an injury, I pray that you heal 100%, that you never have to go through these injuries again, that you continue to be able to do what you love, and that you're not hindered with these injuries and these these bad things are happening. So yeah, I'm praying for that. Also, if you guys can pray for my teammate and my friend, I'm pretty sure they would appreciate that. I know I would appreciate that for them. I'm already saying my prayers for them. But yeah, y'all, I just wanted to kind of talk about that since I feel like so many people around me are getting hurt, and I know so many people who had to go through these things, and it's kind of hard to navigate by yourself. But this is I guess from what I've learned from my own experience, and then also seeing other people go through certain things. So this is kind of what I had my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, listening in. I appreciate all the love, the support. Yeah, and I just thank you guys for to this point. I'm enjoying doing this. I try to get some out every week for y'all. Uh, and I just appreciate y'all for sticking with me up to this point. And yeah, let me know what you guys like. Let me know what you guys want to hear from me moving forward. And yeah, I thank y'all for listening. Stay blessed, stay prayed up, keep God first. Love, attitude, gratitude, and I'm out. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.